Let me share a story with you. There's this guy, let's call him Mike. Mike met a woman he was really drawn to. She was stunning, confident, and had that magnetic spark that instantly caught his eye. They chatted, flirted a bit, and the chemistry was undeniable. But instead of doing what most guys would, texting non-stop, lining up dates, and trying hard to impress, Mike did something different. He took a step back, not because he wasn't interested, but because he wasn't desperate. He had his own priorities, his own life to live, and he wasn't about to drop everything just to win her over. And guess what happened? She started thinking about him more. She found herself wondering what he was doing, why he hadn't been messaging like all the others. Was she not attractive enough? Had she said something wrong? Or was he just not like the rest? This story isn't about playing games. It's about a shift in mindset. When a man chooses not to chase, it sparks something deep in a woman's psychology. And in this guide, we're going to unpack that. Up next, the 7 things a woman really thinks when you don't chase her. She wonders why you're not like the other guys. Number 1, she wonders why you're not like the other guys. One thing she starts to wonder is why you're not like the other guys. Most men chase hard. You meet a woman you like. She's attractive, kind, laughs at your jokes, and before you even realize it, you're texting her, constantly lining up dates, checking her stories, maybe even double texting when she doesn't reply quickly. You've probably done it before, maybe more than once. And what usually happens? At first, she seems into it. She replies. She smiles. She even agrees to hang out a few times. But then something shifts. Her energy fades. Her replies slow down. Suddenly she's always busy. You sense things slipping, but you can't figure out what went wrong. After all, you were being attentive, respectful, consistent, exactly what you thought women wanted, right? But here's the truth. When you chase too hard and too early, you flip a switch in her mind. Instead of being curious about you, she starts predicting your every move. Instead of wondering what you're thinking, she feels like she already has your full attention. And with that, the mystery disappears. The excitement dies out. But when you don't chase, when you show just enough interest without overdoing it, when you keep your cool and avoid flooding her with attention, everything changes. She takes notice. She starts thinking, hold on, why isn't he all over me like everyone else? Is he not into me, or is he just that confident? And that's exactly where the spark of attraction is born, not through over-a. Think back to the last time you lost a woman you really liked. Did you push too hard, try to impress her, put her at the center of your world too soon? Women, especially attractive ones, are constantly being chased. Their inboxes are full of guys begging for attention, offering compliments, buying them, drinks, doing the most. That doesn't impress her. It wears her out. But when you resist the urge to chase and instead do what most men won't, it shifts her entire perception. Suddenly, you stand out. She starts to see you as a man who respects himself, who has a full life, who isn't needy. That kind of energy is magnetic. So if you've ever been the guy who gave too much and ended up empty-handed, don't stress about it. We've all been there. But now you know better. Next time, step back a bit. Let her wonder. Because the second she starts wondering, she starts feeling. And that's where real attraction begins. The thinks you might be the kind of man who walks away. And that hits different. Number 2, the thinks you might be the kind of man who walks away, and that hits different. She starts to think you might be the kind of man who walks away, and that hits different. Maybe your parents did, or maybe you've watched close friends suffer through it. The fights, the emotional distance, the quiet heartbreak that lingers. One thing becomes clear. People don't usually leave because everything is falling apart. They leave when they feel invisible. And this is where it gets real with women. Most women have experienced some kind of painful ending, whether it was a tough breakup or a full-on divorce. Some were left behind while others had to make the hard choice to walk away from someone they once deeply loved because he stopped showing up emotionally, mentally, or spiritually. So when a woman meets a man who doesn't chase, something is triggered. It reminds her of that familiar feeling of distance, of loss. But it also stirs something else. Mystery, strength, a quiet power. Because here's the twist. Not chasing doesn't always signal disinterest. Sometimes it signals discipline, emotional control, and self-worth. It tells her that you're not the kind of man who's going to beg someone to stay. And that to a woman who has felt the sting of emotional abandonment is powerful. She starts to ask herself, is he the type who would walk away if I don't show up for him the right way? That single question shifts the entire dynamic. It's not fear in a toxic sense, it's awareness. She begins to respect your boundaries before you even voice them. Now, ask yourself this. Have you ever been the guy who bent over backwards to stop a woman from leaving? Did you compromise too much? Ignore the warning signs, keep forgiving, and keep chasing when she was halfway out the door, thinking that loving her harder would make her stay. And did it work? Probably not, because women don't stay for the man who begs. They stay for the man they don't want to lose. When you hold back from chasing, you're not being cold. You're showing her that you have standards. You're showing her that you're not afraid to walk away. If she doesn't treat you with the value you deserve, and after heartbreak, after emotional trauma, that kind of strength is magnetic to a woman who's tired of men who fold under pressure. You're not punishing her, you're protecting your peace. And when she sees that, she doesn't back off. She leans in, because deep down, what she really wants isn't to be pursued endlessly. She wants to feel chosen by a man who could walk away at any moment but stays because she's earned her place beside him, not because she wore him down. She starts to chase. When you don't make her the center of your world. Number 3, she starts to chase when you don't make her the center of your world. She starts to chase when you don't make her the center of your world. Imagine you're at a bar, or maybe it's in the office or a class you both attend. You notice her. She's attractive, carries herself with confidence, and there's something about her that draws you in. Naturally, you want her to notice you too, to feel that spark. But here's where most guys slip up. They lock in too quickly. The second she gives them even a little attention, they start treating her like she's the prize, like everything now revolves around keeping her interested. Every move they make becomes about her. Every look, every word, every decision suddenly centers around how to impress her, and she senses that energy not as confidence, but as neediness. Now, flip the script. You walk into that same space, and this time you stay cool. You might flash a genuine smile, make eye contact, maybe drop a quick compliment or a playful remark, and then you pull back. You return to your world, your friends, your work, your focus. You're relaxed, pleasant, present, but not chasing. And that's when it begins. She notices. She wonders why you're not circling her like everyone else. Why aren't you sing harder? Why aren't you trying to win her over? Now she starts leaning in a bar. Maybe she edges closer to you, laughs louder at your jokes, or brushes past you just a little too intentionally. In the office, she might check in with you randomly, comment on your scent, or find reasons to be near. At school, she may start arriving earlier, sitting closer, asking about your weekend plans. You didn't chase, so now she is. And the reason is simple. You didn't make her your mission. You made your own life, your vibe, your energy, the focus, and invited her into it without begging her to be a part of it. Women are emotional creatures, and curiosity is one of their strongest emotional triggers. When you don't give her the full picture right away, when you don't bombard her with messages, when you don't hover, she has the space to feel, to wonder, to lean in. But don't confuse this with game playing. It's about holding your frame. It's about showing her you like her without needing her. That's where the real power is. So next time you're in that room, that bar, that hallway, remember this. If you want her to chase, stop putting her attention on a pedestal. Be the man who's already winning with or without her. When you move with that kind of presence, that kind of self-assurance, she picks up on it. And more often than not, she'll find herself chasing you without even realizing she's doing it. She thinks you have options when you don't over-text or over-call. Number 4, she thinks you have options when you don't over-ext or overall. She starts to believe you have options when you don't over-ext or overall. Let's talk about your phone, your messages, your calls, your DMs. This is where a lot of guys unknowingly lose their edge. You meet a girl, you're into her, maybe you exchanged numbers, maybe you matched online, or maybe you've just been vibing for a few days. And what do? You start blowing up her phone. Good morning texts. How's your day? What are you up to? Are you free later? It goes on, and while you think you're showing interest, and standing out, what you're actually doing is killing the mystery and giving away your power. Here's the hard truth. Women are used to male attention overwhelming. Their phones, constant DMs, comments, texts, calls. It's non-stop. So when you become just another guy checking in all day, you don't stand out. You blend in with the noise. But when you don't, overdo it. When you send a message and don't follow up instantly, when you make a call and then let it breathe, she notices. She starts wondering, why isn't he chasing me like the rest? And whether she admits it or not, she starts thinking, he must have other women, he must have a busy life, he must be confident enough not to chase. That's when attraction starts to spark. Because when you text and call too often, you're not just being overbearing, you're revealing that she's your only option, that your time revolves around her response. And that's when she loses interest. But when you send a message and then disappear for a while, not to play games, but because you're genuinely focused on your life, she starts to feel that shift. She checks her phone, she rereads your last message, she puts extra thought into her response. You become the mystery she wants to solve. And here's the beauty of it. You're not doing anything special, you're just not doing too much. So the move is simple. Don't double text if she hasn't replied. Don't text her out of boredom. Don't call every evening like you're on some relationship schedule. Let your communication be intentional, spaced and confident. Less effort, more value. That's what creates impact. And as soon as she feels like you've got a full life, maybe even other women in your orbit, whether it's true or not, her perception changes. She starts chasing, not because of what you say, but because of what you don't say. Control your phone game and you'll start to feel the shifts in her energy. She starts playing the mental movie. What if he doesn't want me? Number 5. She starts playing the mental movie. What if he doesn't want me? She starts playing the mental movie. What if he doesn't want me? You ever see that scene in a movie, maybe a romantic drama, where the girl is lying in bed staring at her phone? She's scrolling, checking, rechecking the messages. Her face shows that mix of frustration and confusion. She picks up the phone, types something, deletes it, types again, then tosses the phone aside and sigh. She's thinking about him, the one guy who didn't chase her. Now, forget the movie. Let's talk real life. Because that scene, it happens all the time, and it might just be you she's thinking about. Here's why. When you don't chase, when you hold back, stay in your frame and don't give her constant attention. A woman's mind doesn't go silent. It actually goes into overdrive. She starts creating stories in her head. She starts wondering about your life, your mindset, your intentions, and the biggest question that pops up, what if he doesn't want me? Now, most guys panic at the idea of a woman thinking that they want to fix it. Rush in, reassure her, text her, something sweet, send a heart emoji, tell her how much they like her, but not you. Because you're learning that space and silence, when done with confidence, are tools. They make her mind do the heavy lifting, and that's where emotional attachment begins. Let's go deeper. When she's not sure how you feel, she starts replaying your interactions. Every word, every look, every message. She analyzes the way you smiled, the tone in your voice, whether your last message had a period or a lull. It sounds small, but it's huge. Because when a woman is thinking that deeply, she's emotionally invested. And the more she thinks about you, the more you grow in her mind. You're not just the guy she met. You're the mystery in her story, the puzzle she hasn't solved yet, the one who made her feel something different, not by trying too hard, but by holding back just enough. Let's be honest. Here, when you chase, you remove the mystery, you remove the what if, you give her certainty too, soon. And certainty, while it feels good, short-term, doesn't build long-term attraction. It's the unknown that pulls her in. It's the wondering, the waiting, the mental back and forth. She starts to imagine what it would feel like if you chose her, if you leaned in. And because you haven't yet, the value of that possibility skyrockets in her mind. So don't be afraid to let her wonder. Let her build that mental movie. Let her question things a little. That's not rejection. That's seduction. You don't need to say more. You don't need to explain yourself. Your silence, when used with purpose, is often louder than 1,000 texts. She respects you more when you don't sexualize her right away. Number 6. She respects you more when you don't sexualize her right away. She respects you more when you don't sexualize her right away. Let's get one thing straight. Most women know when a man is checking them out. They feel it. They see the eyes, the body language, the energy. And guess what? They're not mad at it. They know they're attractive. They spend time on their hair, their makeup, their clothes. But here's where most guys mess it up. They jump straight into sexual energy. The compliments get too personal. The jokes get too suggestive. The vibe becomes about sex before trust is even built, and she instantly puts you in the just like all the others category. If you want a woman to really feel something different around you, here's the move. Don't sexualize her right away. Don't compliment her body. Don't comment on her lips. Don't bring up sex. Instead, look her in the eye and let her do most of the talking. You'd be surprised what happens when a woman feels like she has to earn your attention, not just physically, but emotionally, mentally, and socially. Ask her questions that have nothing to do with how she looks. Let her share her thoughts, her stories, her opinions. Be present, but not pushy. Show her that you're tuned in, but not trying to impress or seduce her. You know what that does? It changes everything. You're no longer the guy chasing her beauty. You're the man evaluating her energy, and that makes her respect you. It makes her curious. It makes her think, why isn't he trying to get in my pants? Who is this guy? Now, here's where most men don't realize how powerful the visual is if you're going to carry that calm, confident energy. You've got to look the part. Dress well, not expensive, not flashy, clean, sharp, intentional, clothes that fit, shoes that are taken care of, hair or beard on point, smell good, stand tall. Because here's the truth. If you don't say anything sexual, but you look like a man who has options, she feels it. And when you don't chase her, don't compliment her body, and don't flood the conversation, it makes her lean in. She starts thinking about impressing you. She starts talking more, laughing more, asking you questions. The whole dynamic flips. And you didn't have to try hard. You just had to hold the line. Let her be the one to flirt. Let her bring the energy up. You just sit in your calm, collected, masculine presence. And when she walks away from that conversation, she won't remember what you said. She'll remember how you made her feel, like a woman who had to show up as her best self to even keep your attention. That's rare, and rare always gets remembered. Conclusion. Let's conclude with this. You've spent too long chasing women who were never meant for you, chasing validation, chasing attention, chasing ghosts. It ends today. You are not desperate. You are not disposable. You are a man with value. And it's time you start acting like it. Stop giving your power away to women who haven't earned it. Stop believing the lies the modern world feeds you that you have to chase, beg, perform just to be loved. You don't. You lead. You choose. You stand firm. Let her earn your time. Let her earn your ought. You're not here to prove yourself. You're here to build yourself, and only a real one gets to join you on that path. So raise your standards, protect your peace, and remember, a man who stops chasing is a man who finally starts winning. Choose wisely, live boldly.